Enter the 1940s.
Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, members of the Senate, of the House of Representatives, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The United States was at
It says here that over 2,000 young men, and ladies too, lost their lives in that attack, including some civilians.
Martha's son is stationed over there. I hope he's okay.
Well, I for one am ready to fight. I hope we Americans can see now that we can no longer remain isolationists. Both Japan and even that crazy little man with his stupid mustache need to be taught a little American justice. I'm going to sign up.
Oh, darling, are you sure you know what you're doing? How would I make it without you? You could be wounded or even killed.
This fight has come to our shores. They declared war against us. How can I refuse to get involved? The world is changing, and we have to stand up against this tyranny and evil. God has delivered us out of this depression and blessed our country for a reason, and now it's time to do God's bidding. Listen to that applause and cheers.
no matter how long it may
I'm not alone in our resolve to defeat this injustice. Think about it. Well, even Jimmy Stewart is serving his country. God will give us victory.
We aren't prepared for war. How will we be able to build those tanks and weapons and airplanes and things?
We're Americans. We can do anything. Even if we have to ration and give up a few things, we're united under a common cause.
You mean I might have to give up my silk stockings? Never. My cousin Louise lives in D.C., and she said she heard that if the men go off to war, that women would take over work in the factories. I might even have to wear pants.
Well, I still wear the pants in this family.
Before you run off to join the service, could we take the Interurban to downtown to watch a picture show? What would you prefer, the Maltese Falcon or Dumbo?
Well, why don't we go see that new movie that's getting all the rave? I can't remember the name of it, but it's by that guy who did that War of the Worlds radio broadcast on Halloween Day in '38.
Oh, you mean that handsome Orson Welles. The movie is Citizen Kane. I heard it's a little strange. Not your typical Hollywood movie. It will probably soon be forgotten.
Well, okay then. Dumbo it is. I think we could all use a few laughs right about now.
The great catastrophe that had been the First World War was scarcely a generation old when the world rushed headlong into another war. Whatever its many causes, the war was begun by a little man with an absurd Charlie Chaplin cookie duster mustache. Adolf Hitler introduced widespread evil in this world to a degree never experienced before.
The attack on Pearl Harbor plunged us into the Second World War. When we read the history of the strategies and the battles of World War II, it is clear that God spared our nation from defeat by blessing our military forces and giving wisdom to our military leaders and our presidents.
At home in the U.S., we Americans helped by rationing gasoline, sugar, and other commodities, by sewing our clothes from flour sacks, and by sending our women into weapons factories and into other positions in the workplace previously occupied by men. That generation understood the benefit of sacrifice. It is interesting to note that those who lost so much in the Great Depression were willing to give up what they had regained in order to make the world a safer place, not just for themselves, but for future generations. Or a member of your family served in the military, would you please stand? Wow. Let's all stand in their honor.
On April 12, 1945, in the midst of a war not yet won, President Roosevelt died. Vice President Harry Truman suddenly took over as president. His first request of the reporters who came to him was for prayer. He was soon faced with the decision of whether or not to use the atom bomb on the remaining enemy, the Empire of Japan. On August 6, 1945, America dropped the bomb Little Boy above the city of Hiroshima, and on August 11th, a plutonium bomb was dropped on Nagasaki, killing even larger numbers. 4 days later, the Emperor of Japan declared the war over.
Hello, Dad? Hello, Dad? Yes. Yes, sir, it's really me. Is Mom there too? Put her on 2, okay? Yes, sir. That's right, it's over. Can you believe it? We were told we might have to invade Japan, but now those orders are history. Yes, sir. It was a big bomb, and it killed a lot of innocent people. But, Dad, can you imagine how many more would have died if we had to invade? Maybe millions. What's that, Dad? I think so, too. Yes, sir. That bomb that can destroy so many actually saved the world from an even greater destruction. Hey, Mom, stop crying. I'm coming home. Praise Jesus, your boy is coming home.
With the bombing of Japan, the world lost what innocence it had left. For we suddenly discovered that the world as we had known it could vanish in a flash, in a mushroom cloud.
The years 1946 through 1950 brought new words into our vocabularies: Iron Curtain, Cold War politics,
United Nations, Chinese communists, jet planes, sonic booms.
And then along came a new form of entertainment. In 1948, a show entitled The Texaco Star Theater premiered on television, featuring Milton Berle. And Americans flocked to the stores to purchase this new device. By the mid-50s, television had become more popular than books, movies, and radio combined.